Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Hey everyone, welcome to my personal little crash course on Dragon Ball Z for anyone who's not already in the know. Okay, we begin with the Dragon Ball lore by explaining what is a Dragon Ball. The 7 orange orbs on your screen are magical balls that can summon a dragon which will grant you any wish you desire. Yes, any wish, and don't ask. Well, the Dragon Balls are commonly found around the world. Every time a wish is made, they scatter worldwide. And the original series that started in the 1980s focused on Goku and Bulma basically searching the world for Dragon Balls, having these fun little adventures along the way. And that led to Dragon Ball Z, where Goku found out the huge bombshell that he was not human, that he was in fact an alien. And I'll explain more on that in a second. Now, over to characters you need to know. Here we see our orange-clad hero, and some would say the epitome of what it means to be a hero in Japanese anime, Goku. He is the most powerful member of a race of aliens known as Saiyans, and is one of the last that there is. Well, him, Vegeta, and Vegeta's brother. But we'll get into that later. And here we have Vegeta, a cocky, arrogant, very short little man who thinks the world belongs to him and, well, by all rights, has the power to make it so. He is the prince of all Saiyans and is stuck here on Earth, married to one of the richest women in the world. Oh, what a pity to be him. Now, Goku was trained at a young age by everyone's favorite pervert, Master Roshi, who's roughly 175 years old, as a hermit that lives on an island with his best friend, Turtle, and his name is Turtle. And he has a slight preoccupation with both pornography and women's underwear. And a nosebleeding problem. Next up, we have Gohan, son of Goku, the oldest son of two, by the way. And he has several things on his resume, despite being a young man in his 20s. He has already saved the Earth multiple times, and is a superhero in his off time when he's not being a straight-A student. Remember I mentioned Chi-Chi? Well, there's a good reason I mentioned her. She is no slouch. She competed in the World Martial Arts Tournament at the age of 18, where she and Goku got married. And here we have a carbon copy of his father. We have Goten, the youngest son of Goku and Chi-Chi, and one of the youngest, well, the youngest Super Saiyan ever. Hey, remember Vegeta? Yeah, let's talk about him. This is Vegeta's wife, the richest woman in the world, Bulma Vreese, and yes, that is a running joke. She and Vegeta have a son, and, well, let's just say he's no slouch either. Even though he's half human, he's still pretty rough. Here's, ladies and gentlemen, the aforementioned Trunks, this violent little half-Saiyan with purple hair. Speaking of small but powerful, we have Krillin, one of the strongest, if not the strongest, human that is left in the Dragon Ball realm. And you may be wondering, well, this tiny guy can't really keep up with the rest of them, can he? Well, you may want to rethink that when you see his wife. Remember that guy's wife I was talking about? Yeah, this is her. Her name is 18, she is a cyborg, and she will wreck you if you so much as look at her wrong. Hey, remember those two little half-Saiyan tykes, Goten and Trunks? Well, they have a nice little trick. The two of them combine into this fierce fighter Gotenks through a process called fusion, which is, well, outright silly and quite ridiculous. But don't discount this little guy's power. This tiny little black and purple-haired hooligan will destroy you. This little kid has the power to destroy the world. In the series of Dragon Ball, there's a lot of talk about destroying worlds and destroying planets. How about we talk about a guy who's created a few planets? This is Supreme Kai. And he is a whining, sniveling, annoying little character. Even for a god, he is absolutely pathetic. Well, this is called Battle of Gods after all, and let's talk about one that's actually cool. This is King Kai. Don't discount him, he's one of the toughest fighters in the universe, although he never actually has to lift a finger. King Kai resides in the spirit world and trains fighters who manage to make the end of the menacing Snake Way. He lives on a tiny planet with a monkey and a cricket. Oh god. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Satan, the world champion fighter who stole all the credit from Goku and Gohan for killing Cell. A monster we'll talk about in a moment. He claims to have saved the world, although he has never lifted a finger. And honestly, he's not a bad fighter. For a human. But when it comes to dealing with the powers that we're talking about here, he is utterly useless, so why would I mention it? Well, I mentioned Mr. Satan so I could talk about his daughter, Videl, who is the wife of young Gohan. Speaking of people who are important to Gohan, let's talk about Piccolo, a Namekian. Oh, Namekians are a whole different story. Well, he's a green alien. Yeah, that's a thing. Yes, he's a green alien from the planet Namek. A planet blown up by the next guy we'll talk about. He's a very important person to Gohan due to the fact that he trained Gohan to fight and took care of him for a year after Goku died for the first time. Yeah, that's right, I said for the first time. Death is not a one-way ticket in the Dragon Ball universe. Now, Piccolo is, well, he used to be a villain. He tried to kill Goku. You don't get much worse than that. But then again, he and Vegeta are both part of a reformed villains little campaign that seems to be going on within the Dragon Ball Z universe, unlike our next guy. Speaking of evil people, this is Frieza, the man who destroyed both the Saiyan and Namekian homeworlds respectively. And let me tell you, the man is not kind. He was once regarded as the most powerful man in the universe until Goku stomped him like a little girl. Speaking of people who were stomped like young children, how about we talk about a villain who is actually smited by a young child? Gohan killed this man, Cell, at a very young age of roughly 15, when he was the most powerful being on the planet. Yes, Cell. He went about absorbing people, whole towns at a time, just eating whoever he could to gain more power to become perfect. And yes, even in his perfect form, he was still beaten by a 15-year-old. Oh, the luck. Speaking of villains who have been rehabilitated, let's talk about this big pink blob of chewing gum, Majin Buu. Not really much to say other than imagine if you took a toddler and gave him all the power in the universe in this adorable planet-busting form. You hear that, folks? That's me literally hitting the bottom of the barrel with one of the last and, well, least important characters in the Dragon Ball universe. Tien Shinhan, accompanied by his tiny little life partner, Chaozu. The two of them played a major role in the Dragon Ball Z franchise until they, well, got outclassed by everyone. And I do mean everyone. He is very, very, very strong for a human. I actually don't know why he has a third eye. That's something in the original Dragon Ball. I have no clue about that one. But I will say Tien is a very strong character. And honestly, I think he may be stronger than Krillin. But we'll never know, considering he's hardly in this movie at all. In fact, if I hadn't seen him myself, I wouldn't believe he was even in this film. It's quite remarkable, actually. Although he may not be very important to the plot of the film that we're about to discuss, honestly, I'm impressed that he's a member of the Illuminati. They usually don't let in bald people. Oh, come on. No, you can't be serious. Okay, well, this is Yamcha, and I saved the worst for last. And to put things in perspective for you, Yamcha, the scar-faced bandit, as he used to be called, he's about as useful in most of these fights against aliens and planet-busting monsters as most of us would be. And by that, I mean he gets killed almost instantly every time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the backstory you get. And here we go with the gritty generation gap discussion.